At 4:30 hours local time on July 5, 2025, the first Ukrainian AN-196 Liutyi drone roared off its concealed launch rail near Sumy. 20 seconds later, a second drone followed. Across 3 additional launch sites, 340 more drones simultaneously lifted off, initiating the largest coordinated drone swarm in military history. The skies over the launch zones shimmered with the metallic hum of 341 aircraft, each weighing 700 kilograms and armed with precision-guided warheads. The Ukrainian operators worked with precise timing, knowing that any delay could be catastrophic. Every second counted because Russian early warning radars had already detected the mass launch. Unbeknownst to them, 4 Iskander-M missiles, traveling at Mach 5.9 and carrying 700 kilo warheads, were screaming toward the launch sites. The estimated flight time was 11 minutes, leaving operators only seconds to get as many drones airborne as possible before destruction. The brilliance of Ukraine's strategy became immediately apparent. The swarm had been divided into 4 distinct forces: northern, southern, eastern, and decoy. This division allowed simultaneous strikes across hundreds of kilometers, while keeping individual swarms unpredictable and difficult to intercept. At 6 hours, the northern force crossed into Russian airspace near Sutsa, descending to 500 meters to avoid radar detection. Comprising 95 drones from Sumy, this group faced the longest route, curving north to circumvent S-400 batteries protecting Kursk. Their Sky Node SAI systems constantly analyze real-time radar emissions, satellite imagery, and terrain data, allowing drones to maintain low-altitude concealment behind hills and evade detection. When the northern force passed over the 92 N-6E gravestone radar, Russia's most advanced targeting system capable of tracking aircraft up to 400 kilometers, the drone's carbon fiber composite bodies gave them a radar signature similar to large birds, causing Russian operators to struggle to distinguish the swarm from natural clutter. During this phase, 12 drones were lost, but these were due to navigation errors in rough terrain rather than enemy fire. By 6 hours, the northern force had cleared the engagement zone, demonstrating the effectiveness of low-profile, terrain-following navigation combined with AI guidance. Meanwhile, the southern force, launched from Poltava, entered a different challenge at 6 hours. Russian electronic warfare units had established a 200-kilometer GPS dead zone along this corridor, broadcasting jamming signals at 500 watts across all navigation frequencies. For conventional drones, traversal would have been impossible. The lead drone, guided by its Sky Node S system, detected the jamming and seamlessly switched to visual navigation. Cameras on board identified the M4 highway below, cross-referencing the curves against stored imagery, effectively mapping the route through the electronic wilderness. Behind the lead, 85 drones followed in a loose formation, calculating thousands of navigation adjustments per second. Only 8 drones were lost to mechanical failures during the rapid launch. The Eastern Force faced arguably the toughest resistance. At 6:15 hours, 4 Su-35 fighters scrambled from Vard Air Base, each armed with 12 R-77 missiles for drone interception. Their targeting systems, optimized for fighter-sized targets, initially struggled to lock onto drones flying just 200 meters above farmland. The lead pilot descended to 1,000 meters, risking anti-aircraft fire, eventually engaging a cluster of drones with missiles. Despite expending 32 missiles, only 15 drones were destroyed, revealing a stark economic disadvantage for the Russians, with each missile costing roughly 25 million rubles against drones worth 200,000 each. The Eastern Force continued with 65 drones, adapting to the threat using AI-coordinated maneuvers. At 6:22 hours, the decoy force executed its sacrificial diversion. 80 older modified commercial drones suddenly climbed to 5,000 meters, activating radar enhancement devices. Russian radars interpreted them as high-priority cruise missiles headed for Moscow. Over the next 8 minutes, 12 fighters and more than 100 surface-to-air missile batteries were diverted to intercept these decoys, leaving the main forces free. By 6:30, all decoys were destroyed, but the strategic objective had been achieved, drawing attention and firepower away from the real attack. Three main forces, northern, southern, and eastern, converged undetected at Wulash 7:25 hours, 180 kilometers from the Kometa facility, forming an armada of 226 drones. A total of 115 drones had been lost along the way, but the remaining swarm was sufficient to overwhelm Russia's premier weapons facility. By 8:30 hours, the first wave of 40 drones crested the final ridgeline, triggering every air defense radar within the facility. Behind them, 186 more drones approached in 4 waves spaced 90 seconds apart. 6 Pantsir S-1 systems faced an impossible scenario: 226 drones versus 72 missiles and finite ammunition. The RS-2 radar struggled to track targets as alerts multiplied across operator screens faster than human calculation could follow. Each system could engage only 4 targets simultaneously. The drone's swarm tactics, however, made single-target missile defense ineffective. The first wave executed textbook swarm dispersals. Groups of 4 drones scattered in multiple directions as incoming missiles approached, forcing each missile to select a single target. Encrypted communications between Skynode-S systems allowed coordinated evasive maneuvers. When one missile detonated near a drone, 3 others exploited the explosion's momentary opening to advance. The second wave, consisting of 45 drones, advanced in a step formation, 20 at 500 meters altitude and 25 hugging the ground at 50 meters. The operator faced a dilemma: engage high-altitude drones easily tracked by radar, or the low-altitude drones, capable of sudden rapid movement. 4 missiles were launched at the high group, allowing the low group to advance through smoke and missile trails, which were used as cover to disrupt infrared sensors and mask visual detection. By 8:31 hours, each Pantsir system's autocannons joined the engagement. 6 streams of 30mm tracer rounds created overlapping defensive fields, yet the drones passed through effortlessly, demonstrating their speed, coordination, and terrain-hugging capabilities. The third wave, 50 drones strong, had observed previous waves and adjusted accordingly, approaching in loose clouds and constantly varying speed and altitude to exploit the defenders' blind spots. The fourth wave, 51 drones, coordinated countermeasures using radar reflections and small, precise maneuvers to evade missile tracking. By 8:32 hours, 38 missiles had been fired with 31 hits, leaving 195 drones still airborne. Inside the minimum missile engagement zone, the operators switched to autocannons. Each system could track only 1 target at a time, leaving 189 drones unchallenged. Distributed intelligence allowed the Skynode systems to coordinate subgroups of 8-10 drones for synchronized attacks on specific targets. Critical facilities were assigned precise drone numbers: 15 drones to the KMDA antenna assembly, 12 drones to support facilities, and 20 drones to the main production hall. Learning algorithms in Skynode-S continuously updated subsequent waves with penetration routes, radar blind spots, reload times, and traverse limits. The final 60 seconds saw the complete collapse of the facility's air defense network. Ammunition was rapidly depleted, with each system carrying only 700 autocannon rounds per barrel. As guns ran dry, larger drone groups penetrated unopposed. By 8:34, defenders could only watch as over 120 drones entered terminal dive phases simultaneously. At 8:35, the first wave of 28 drones struck in a catastrophic 15-second window. Reinforced concrete buildings 2, 3, and 4 were obliterated, giving no chance for damage control. Fires ignited in 5 separate locations before fire crews could respond. The second wave, 35 drones, targeted support infrastructure. Power substations exploded in showers of sparks. Water pumping stations were destroyed sequentially, crippling fire suppression. Backup systems, power, communication, lighting, failed within seconds. Chemical storage areas amplified destruction as delayed fuse warheads detonated volatile chemicals, producing toxic burning liquids. Pressurized clean rooms ruptured, releasing nitrogen, argon, and hydrogen, turning precision manufacturing spaces into improvised fuel air bombs.